A golden light ushers the room's shadow away. It bathes my skin, laying down soothing kisses, and I find myself sighing at the sensation. Hello there! How are you? You must be father! Can I call you daddy? I need to calm down. I need to calm down.
I am the father, pride of Limbo. You may think of me as the creator of all that you see before your eyes.
Does that mean I get to smash God? Can I smash God? Is that something I can do? Can I? I am totally calm. What are you talking about? Totally calm.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's just a slogan. Tourists love it.
We don't have tourists, idiot.
They would love it if we had them.
Their voices become fleeting mumbles. I stare up to where the golden light disappears, high in the sky. And then, I know with absolute clarity that they are telling the truth. Envy was right. I'm immeasurably far away from home. I fall to my knees, gripping my head as a wave of mind-numbing pain cuts through my temples. Someone screams in the back of my mind, clawing at the walls of my consciousness, tearing them apart. Do not go. My wanderer. Do not go.
Hey, are you alright? I don't think I am.
Behind my closed eyelids, flashes of red and black stain my vision, running and mocking circles.
It's the tower's influence. It's trying to take over. What? I'll hold. Go. Okay.
Something rough closes around my cheeks, holding my head firm. Fingers dig around my eyeballs, peeling my eyelids apart to force them open. Lion! Look at me! I can't. It's too much. I can't! You have to. You have to fight. I don't know what it says! My mouth opens. Only babbles make it out as foam gathers in the back of my throat and slides down my lungs. Damn it! Fire pierces my hand and climbs up to my shoulder. The squelch of blood steals my senses as envy sinks their nails into my wound, prodding and tugging at the flesh. Lightning surges through my veins, yanking my arm out of their reach. I have no time to react. His unforgiving touch finds my arms next, shaking me back and forth. Is it you? Lion! I seal my mouth shut to avoid puking all over them. The voices have stopped, replaced by the all-consuming pain, now making my arm spasm. Yeah. Good. Now stand up. Tears blur the corners of my eyes as they haul me to my feet. We're almost there. We will cross the bridge and then it will be over. I whine through gritted teeth. My feet can't hold my weight any longer. This is it. Summon a rift! Everything is slowly being plunged into thick darkness. I can barely make out Amon's silhouette as he runs towards us. Behind him, the forest wails and shudders. Long broken fingers stretch from the depths of the shadows to grab him. What? But That is an order! With a click of their tongue, he takes off his cloak, throwing it away to be carried by the wind. Light engulfs me. Envy's hand on my arm tightens until his fingers are pressed against the bone. The air in front of us shakes violently, colors breaking into shapes and static noise. Envy's fingers turn black, yanking at the landscape like a blanket, tearing it apart and revealing another flash of light that makes me wince. Electricity cuts through the air. Jolts of it run up my skin, forcing a hiss out of me. That hurts! A long hallway suddenly stands before me, but the mountains are still here, all around us. Envy sticks a leg into it. White ripples swallow him up to the knee, distorting its shape. The choking pressure around my arm disappears as they let go. They look back at me, eyes narrowing, as he tentatively extends a hand my way. Come! There is no time! The right side of his body is gone, cut by a white, quivering line. He shakes his hand in front of me, urging me to take it.
You have to choose.
I choose the hot elf
Come
man!
with me and live, or stay here and die.
Hot elf man!
My tongue is dry in my mouth, thick and dense. I stop thinking and force myself to act. I place my fingers on top of theirs, their freezing skin curling around mine.
Do not let go.
Their eyes are fixed on me as they slide inside the hallway. I watch as his body disappears inch by inch until only his hand gripping mine is left. He tugs lightly. Another hand clasps my shoulder, squeezing it reassuringly from behind. Come on! Our hands disappear as I let envy pull me through. The pale water licks its way up my skin until it swallows my elbow like a hungry beast. I try to keep my eyes open when my head finally crosses the threshold, but the light is so searing, I'm forced to close them. I can hear the sea. I float over the blinding surface of the water, envy's grasp leading me forward. Bubbles gently touch my skin, helping me navigate through the iridescent ocean. My eyes flutter open. The soft whisper of waves is replaced by the gentle crackling of fire and the distant sound of a piano. I shudder and sigh in relief as the warmth of the room envelops me. The pressure clamped around my head ebbs away, taking the last remnants of the murmurs with it. That was too close for comfort.
You bet. Never seen so many of them together.
As my senses clear, I start to take in my surroundings. The walls are high, hugged by columns and those long stained glass windows I saw from afar. But we were just in the forest, just a second ago, and now... I turn around, my nose almost bumping into Amon's chest when I do. He laughs and politely pushes himself away from me. Wait! I'm not done! Okay, I'm done. Oh God, he leaves me room to breathe. Behind him, there's nothing but the other side of the hallway. More lamplights flicker, fire laps at the stone walls, and the columns slither upwards until they vanish into the darkness. You. Oh, the voice is gone. Shifting my weight from one side to the other, I realize I feel lighter on my feet. The air around me is not oppressive anymore, but breezy and familiar. If it weren't for the ringing in my left ear, I would think I imagined the horror from before. Hey, I asked you a question. What? They sigh deeply, dramatically so. I suppose if your stupidity is back, you must be in control again. I don't reply right away, but to be fair, I care about something else a bit more than defending myself from his jabs. Did you just stick your fingers into my wound? I mean, if you want to stick your finger somewhere, you could have just asked. I flip my hand over to survey the damage. I regret it instantly. The sight turns my knees liquid. Yes, I did. To save you, I might add. My lips part to protest. They tilt their head in anticipation of it, shooting me a glare. If you still feel a presence within you, I may have to do it again. Don't even joke about that. It's disgusting. I search for his other hand. The one I know must have traces on my blood. A gasp sticks in my throat at the close sight of his fingers, now sharp talons, stiffly curled over themselves. He quickly hides his battered hand between the folds of his tunic. They look away from me, their expression faltering. Whatever it is, it looked painful. I have a good slice sitting around on my palm, but whatever is going on with him looks even worse. As I trace the curves of their arm with my eyes, I reach our still joined hands. His hold on me is firm, but I can feel a slight tremble in his muscles. I'm not sure they've realized they're still cupping my hand in theirs. Are you okay? They blink, jaw falling slack. One would think I've slapped him across the face instead of asking an innocent question. Maybe I should have, now that I think about it. Of course. Why wouldn't I be? A different question pops in my mind in response to theirs. Why did I ask? I don't have an answer. I don't know. Your hand. They avert their eyes from me, dismissing whatever I may be thinking of saying next. The tension in his face lessens ever so slightly. It does not concern you. His reply is but a whisper, a tired mumble, not abrasive or defensive, just matter of fact. Are you? Am I what? Nothing. Forget it. Spire be blessed, there really is nothing inside the head of yours. Figures that the tower could possess you so easily. You should talk louder if you want people to hear you, you know. An angry huff is the only sign that they've heard me. They drop my hand, slipping their other arm inside the tunic. As they walk away, I swear, their pace is slower than before, but it's probably just my imagination. As we walk, I realize I'm calmer now. Too calm, in fact. There are lots of questions mingling in the back of my mind, but the forefront of my thoughts is surprisingly empty and peaceful. This place has some sort of soothing effect on me. It's almost familiar. I can't tell where this hallway leads to, but somehow, I feel like I know. So where exactly... Gale! He breaks into a jog, leaving me behind with envy that does his best to hide their face behind their hair. Great. The master is here. The master? Oh! Hey! Peeking around Envy's shoulder, I see a man standing further ahead, the soft flicker of the candles drawing the edges of a long and lustrous cloak. He turns around with a start, worry written across his face. Amon! He strides up to us, the long cloak draped across his shoulders, flaring up behind him. The candlelights by his feet waver as he picks up speed, meeting Amon halfway.
Father keeps me. Are you two all right?
Yeah.
Kinda. But that's not important. Look at this! He excitedly does jazz hands around me. It's enough to catch a newcomer's attention.
Yeah.
The color drains from his delicate face. I shuffle my feet, gluing my arms to my sides in a poor attempt to look better than I know I do. There's not much saving my first impression. Not that it should matter. Is this the cause of all this mess? Yeah. Oh dear. In a single fluid motion, he sweeps his coat off his shoulders, throwing Amon a pointed glare. I am extremely disappointed in you, Amon. What? I expected this level of sloppiness from our sibling, but not from you. Huh? Excuse me? To allow them to be in this foul condition. Wait, I can explain.
No.
I thought you knew better than this. Gale shakes his head, not leaving room for any argument. For the first time, Amon's impermeable smile is shattered and reduced to a sour pout. I feel a bit bad for him. A bit. With only 2 steps of his fairly long legs, Gale stands in front of me, offering me a heartfelt bow of his head.
On behalf of my siblings, please, let me apologize.
Apology accepted. And now that you're closer, I mean, I can see your charm too. I'm lying. How are you? My mouth parts, but only a pitiful sound makes it out as our gazes lock. Behind his eyes, ripples of glimmering silk move in the color of early dawn. Pink shines from within in a pool of royal purple, enthralling me completely. I can see lightning dancing around his tiny pupils as a quiet whisper caresses the back of my neck, making the hair stand on end. It's difficult to look away.
You must be cold and terrified, among other things. I promise you will be treated with the utmost care and respect from now on.
I love this man. I love this man. But Amon still has my heart. Amon is still my favorite so far. I don't register the cape falling around my shoulders until he clasps it in place, smoothing the sides with meticulous hands. The scent of lavender and detergent clashes with the stench clinging to my body. The warmth of the fabric drags a sigh out of me. My body stirs back to life at the sensation, my hand sneaking out of the coat to close it around me and press its comfort and weight against my tepid skin. I can't for the life of me summon any strength to speak. We do not have time to lose to play the gentleman. Gil's head snaps up to envy in careful consideration. His eyes immediately slide to the arm they've been very insistent on hiding. You're right. You in particular should make haste. You two go ahead. Rhea is already waiting in the spire. I'm sure our dear sister will appreciate a bit of insight about the situation at hand.
Huh.
Are we using the spire? Yes. Every precaution is too little. A particularly strained beat of silence goes by. I look between them, but there's nothing I can decipher from the mix of expression on their faces. And what are you planning to do with this? Their hand waves in my direction. Gale places himself slightly in front of me to protect me from envy's rudeness. As for our esteemed guest, I'll see to it that they're in a better condition before meeting our father. You can fathom what he would say if only by my own reaction. As he says that, his long fingers rest on my shoulder. The touch is so light, I would have missed it if it wasn't for the scent of leather tickling my nostrils. You cannot be serious. Gale stands taller next to me. I glance up at him as his throat bobs up and down with a hard swallow, the tension clear in the air.
All right, we leave the little bunny in your hands then.
The what? Amon throws his arms along Envy's shoulders, pulling them against his side right when they were about to protest. Instead, there's only a nasty choking sound and a rather ominous crack. Amon!
See you in a bit.
What? You cannot be... Ah! Amon winks at me and turns swiftly on his heels, dragging Envy with him. They both retreat deeper into the hallway. Past the torches I can see waving in the distance.
They are a colorful pair, are they not?
Colorful is a curious way of putting it.
Please, allow me to apologize again, and not only on their behalf. Had I known the direness of your state, I would have done something to assist.
Excuse me. That sounds incredibly self-centered. He fidgets with the collar of his shirt. He looks like a prince in distress more than I do, and that's saying something. Don't worry. No offense taken.
Thank you. Now, come. I may not be able to do much, but it will be better than nothing.
He leads me aside and coaxes me to sit down on the wall's overhanging frieze. Our hands find each other naturally, and he doesn't let go of me until he's sure I'm not about to keel over. Even when I smile up at him reassuringly, his fingers hover close, ready to support me if needed. Before I can even begin to thank him, he bends a knee in front of me.
May I?
Sure. White noise takes over my already struggling brain as he earnestly looks up at me. My heart flutters, seeing how the deep color of his eyes pour into me, warm and kind. It takes me a long couple of seconds to understand he wants to see my hand. When I try to pull my arm out of my coat, it gets tangled in the flaps, and I struggle to push them away. Allow me. He reaches out, his fingers delicately peeling off the pieces of fabric and freeing my hand. Heat rises to my cheeks as I place my palm out in front of him. Sorry. I swear I'm not usually this clumsy.
Don't say that. You're already going through a great deal.
A bit of clumsiness is expected, and the least of our concerns. I wouldn't demand you remain collected in this situation. I'm still not sure what the situation is, to be honest. His fingers slowly close around the back of my hand as he inspects the blood-soaked bandage. Yeah, I should apologize about that too. However, I'm afraid I can't give you any answers. Even if I had them, it is not my right to explain. But know that our intentions are not malicious. That I can swear to you. I bore my eyes into his, trying to find any cracks, any hints that betray his true intentions. There are none. That's, reassuring.
If true.
He holds my hand, as though it were made of spun glass. He slowly removes what was once part of my shirt, now a damp crimson piece of fabric. You did a great job.
Did what I could, I guess.
He reveals the wound. Underneath the blood, the blades of grass and the dirt, I can still see the black ink decorating the back of my hand. He retrieves a cotton handkerchief from his pants pocket, and his eyes search mine, asking for permission. I nod. I'm absorbed by the delicacy of his movements. As he slowly cleans upward from my knuckles, he purposely avoids the traces of ink, and his eyes narrow when the drawing starts to reveal itself. Do you know what it is?
No.
Not without further examination. He hesitates when faced with the entrance of the cut. I would like to alter it as little as possible, so if you'll excuse me. Yeah, I get it. I'll try not to think about the consequences of leaving a wound of this caliber untreated. He ties the ends of the handkerchief together with a bow too fine for the occasion, and his thumb swipes across it as if to check its security. The sensation of the leather against my skin makes me flinch.
Does it hurt? Of course it does. Forgive me.
This is as much as I can do for now. This is a lot, if we take the rest of my day into consideration. Between being stabbed, kidnapped, or this, I think the choice is pretty easy. He laughs breathily at that, but there's a concerned dip in the bridge of his nose, as though he can't decide whether he should keep laughing or not. Oh well, that is a robust sense of humor. Thank you, Gale? Gale, was it?
Oh, yes. Where are my manners? It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Gael, current master of the Grand Houses.
Oh, Gael. As he takes a seat next to me, leaving a polite distance between us, I tilt my head to the side to get a better look. It only takes him a second to avert his gaze from me with a nervous clear of his throat. Which is a title you have no concept of, so it's not exactly relevant. I can't help but chuckle at his bashfulness. Nice to meet you, Gael. Master? Master Gael? No need. Gael will suffice. As I mentally repeat his name, something about it just sounds off. He doesn't look like someone who should be addressed by their first name. Shall we continue? He motions for us to stand, but waits for my reaction first. The other end of the hallway, where the other two disappear behind us, is still as cryptic as it was before. Can we stay here for a moment? I need to catch my breath a bit. Surprise marks his features, but it only lasts for a blink. Yes, of course. I cannot leave you alone, however. For your safety, I hope my presence isn't too unwelcome. It's not, it's just... I'm having a hard time trusting anything. Or anyone. It's not just you. I understand. It is a wise thing to do. Lion. It rolls off his tongue softly, as if it's something meant to be said with care. A wonderful name, if you will allow me to say. Well, it doesn't have as much class as Master Gael, but I'll accept the compliment. Before I realize it, I'm extending my other hand for him to shake. He stares at it in dumbfounded silence. He clasps my hand with his and I squeeze. His breath staggers in the back of his throat as he pulls back, cradling his hand against his chest. Sorry, did I squeeze too hard? No. Forgive me. He casts his gaze lower, to his slacks, stooping down to brush off a non-existent speck of dirt. Did I do something wrong, or weird for that matter? Are his hands where is particularly sensitive? Because I would like to squeeze them more if that's the case. We should continue. I hate to pressure you, but the longer we wait, the more unstable you may get. Unstable? He stands up and straightens his vest, brushing his hair away from his face with a jerk of his chin. Awkwardness has found its way to a smile, but he still waits patiently for me to leave our improvised seat. I don't know what I did or said, but I would rather go back to that comfortable silence from before. Thank you for being so kind to me. I'm sorry about your cloak. What do you mean unstable? Thank you for being so kind to me. Gael. He starts walking and I follow after. I know he heard me. If he wants to ignore me, he'll have to work harder than that. I just wanted to thank you for being so kind to. I managed to step aside before I stumble into him. Me. Please, allow me to apologize again, Lion. I do not mean to rush you. While there are indeed pressing matters to attend to, I would not want that to be at the expense of your comfort. It is not my intention to distress you any further or treat you unkindly. You have been pretty kind to me. That's what I just said. What I meant to say is... Gael! His lips squeezed shut. Did you hear me? You are by far the kindest person I've talked to since I got here. No offense to your siblings. Amon is fine, I guess.
Oh, that's...
He looks away. The collar of his shirt seems a bit too tight because he keeps slipping a finger around it to loosen it.
I do not know about that. There's nothing extraordinary about my actions. Anyone would have done the same.
I love this man!
My feet carry me closer to him, and his shoulders perk up before he can catch himself. I mean it. I can almost hear the protest his brain is crafting, but he gives up on it with a resigned exhale. His eyes, so open before, are now clouded by something I can't quite place. You are most gracious, Lion. Don't mention it. We smile at each other. In any other circumstances, maybe I would be admiring his perfectly sculpted face, like I would a piece of art on a museum wall, as awkward as that may be. Not now, however. There are more important things to do, or more precisely, to ask. So, what now? What happens to me next? He shifts his weight, taking a long pause before speaking next. I am not sure. We, the sovereigns, those in charge of safekeeping Limbo's realms, are arranged to meet with you shortly. We will decide how to proceed then, after a very much needed debate. The sovereigns? How many people are we talking about? You've already met Amon and Envy. I have 3 other siblings, and a father will lead the meeting. He is, the supreme authority of Limbo, you could say. That does not put me at ease in the slightest. The supreme authority doesn't sound too nice, but I guess he's the only chance I have to find some answers. Who better than the person who commands the place to shed some light on all this? And what exactly is Limbo? Our home. Just like the firstborn is yours. That's what you call it? Firstborn? Yeah. Our world came to life after yours. Hence the name. Right. But that is not of importance right now. I know it is easier said than done, but do not get caught up in the details. The last thing you need is for your sanity to be jeopardized. Something unusual has happened, and we want to resolve it as peacefully as possible. Both you and us. I silently agree. My head starts to spin again from that brief exchange. Taking a step back, he offers me his arm. The smile he flashes me next is different, distant. Let us hurry then. Hesitantly, I curl my fingers around the crook of his elbow. He leads the way forward, and we walk along the eerie hallway once more, this time in silence. He doesn't make any attempt to strike up conversation, and I'm not in a position to do so either. I merely count our steps as we endlessly follow the cobblestone path. The silence is surprisingly welcome, but short-lived. Something wails from within the walls. It's like a quiet mourning, the wheezing cries of the wind leaking through the cracks of every brick shaping the corridor. I can vaguely distinguish mumbled words among the noise. I look up at Gale, but he merely stares ahead, his gaze unwavering. If he hears it too, he doesn't react whatsoever. Then my skin crawls as a slow, unnerving smile curves his lips. He looks alien, uncanny, detached, as if he was carved from marble rather than born. What was a soothing presence a second ago now makes me swallow hard and loosen the grip I have on his arm. Why does he feel so different from before? Or am I the one who is? We stop. A gate made of stone and wood stands before us. The archivolts go up as far as I can see, framing a tympanum that portrays a long-haired man in its center, his hands extending to each side, fingers stretching outward like branches embracing the scene below. Around him, several worshippers clamber up a hill, trying to reach him at the top. A pendant adorns his chest. It's some sort of eye inscribed in a bent triangle. Wait, I've seen that before. I cling instinctively to Gael's arm when the gates open with a thundering noise, making the walls tremble. He finally looks at me, as if awakening from a long dream. It's alright. A gust of cold air hits me, coiling around my feet, filtering through the cloak. The scent of something acrid burns my nose. The gates are now wide open. We're facing an austere, seven-sided room. The subtle streams of light coming from the ceiling shine through floating specks of dust, and I look down at the threshold's clean cut, keeping the cobblestone from continuing inside. This way. I don't move, yanking him back with a strength I didn't know I still had. There's a chair made of stone in the middle of the room, rooted to the cracked floor. Over it hovers a shining black sphere that catches the light coming from above. An endless pit surrounds it all, and from it emerges the ominous hum of the earth, far, far below. There's a balcony in the back on the first level, framing the whole room. A coliseum made to observe and feast on what happens down in the pits, on the mental and physical carnage of the wicked and the doomed. It's a judgment room at best, and a torture chamber at worst. Don't go in there! I shake my head, taking a step back. A wave of nausea pierces my chest, and I let go of Gael's arm, as though it were burning.
Are you alright? What's wrong?
I'm not going in there. Please, I know it's not the most pleasant of sights, but you must trust me. I can't do that. I am not going in there. There's no way. Lion, please, reconsider. There's nothing to reconsider. If someone wants to talk to me, they can do it right here. This is just standard procedure, Lion.
I promised you would be safe, did I not? Can you please believe in those words?
I want to. I want to believe someone is on my side. But I don't. I see. He withdraws the hand that reached to touch me, rubbing his wrist instead. My chest rises and falls erratically as his eyes slide to the room before us. I am terribly sorry. You leave me no choice. Wait, what do you mean? As I'm about to speak, a chill runs from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, crushing my throat. Something pierces down my spine next, gluing me to the spot. Lion, please, get into the room. His eyes bore into me, swallowed by a haunting glow. Everything around those glimmering irises become dark and blurry. I feel my thoughts seeping out of my head, and then nothing. Nothing but Master Gael. Take a seat. Yes, Master. I walk through the narrow corridor, leading to my appointed chair. A rock slips off the bridge and falls into the void without a sound. My eyes follow the pebble until it vanishes into the darkness. There's nothing but peace and quiet around me. Nothing but the calm and careful beats of my heart in my ears. I sit down. My back slowly meets the stone and my hands lay on the armrest. The tepid warmth of the candles lick what little skin peeks through the master's cloak. The ball floating above, no, the eye, stirs to life and regards me with a quiver. Huh? The air suddenly slices my lungs open and tears a high-pitched gasp out of me. Heat rises to my head in the shape of my own voice, reverberating inside my skull, over and over again. The thoughts flow back inside, desperately filling the emptiness left behind. What did you do to me? I'm sorry. Flames bite every patch of my skin. I desperately shake the cloak off of me, pushing my sleeves all the way up to my shoulders. You. He casts his eyes down to where his discarded cloak lays. The coat floats into the air, fanning my sweat-stained cheeks in the process. It flies away from me and neatly coils itself around Gale's arm. Thank you.
No. Don't mention it.
I frantically sweep my eyes across the room in realization. Amon is sitting on one of the thrones, one leg hoisted over his knee. He raises a hand in silent greeting when he catches me staring. So how much do I need to pay you for that? Next to him stands Envy, not claiming any seat. The only sign of acknowledgement they give me is stuffing their nose in the air. That thing on their arm is completely gone.
My. That takes some courage, brother. Good work.
What the heck? Hi? There's someone else in the room, right in front of me. A woman stands high on the balcony, hands leaned on the railing.
You did well. Father's eye will now do the rest.
Wait, what? Her voice sinks deep into my bones. I would think her presence has sucked all the air out of the room, but I know it's simply me holding my breath. Her head tilts up ever so slightly, sizing me up thoroughly. We received the notice more than an hour ago. What were you doing? My apologies, dear Prefectus. I wanted to present our guest in better shape than we found him, for our father's sake. Alas, I'm not sure if I achieved that. She raises her hand to her forehead, heaving a long sigh. Her right arm reflects the purplish light of the room, highlighting the many curves and crevices giving shape to an elegant prosthesis. You and your compassion again, Gael. I admire you. It does not falter even in these circumstances, does it? On the contrary, it should be stronger than ever in moments like these. If you don't mind me, I'll take my seat now. He turns with a bow, and I stare at his receding back. The paralyzing fear strangling me only heightens with every step he takes. Who is he? No, what is he? What are these people? I take this as them. She's looking at me. The drum of her metallic claws on the stone echoes loud enough for me to flinch. Her crimson eyes flicker with a dull curiosity as they fall on me. I curl my hands into a fist as I hold her stare. Gael's handkerchief tightens around my hand.
Yep, this is them.
The woman inspects me more closely now. So this little thing crosses the crystal border and lives. Quite the miracle, don't you think? My tongue darts out to ease the dry creases on my lips. There is a clear accusation behind that clipped tone of hers. And those beasts haven't torn them to shreds either, as I can see. Not a limb infected or missing.
They tried to, for sure. We were lucky to be there.
We'll see about that. She sighs once more with an audible tension and closes her eyes. When she opens them next, they instantly find me like a knife through the chest.
Listen up, child of the firstborn.
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
I am Prefectus Rhea, guardian of this realm and protector of this sacred chamber. I will be the one to judge you on this day.
Okay, got it, boss.
You will answer every question asked you, and you will do so with honesty, lest you receive the punishment you'd be looking for. Have I made myself clear? Question, what if I wanted to be punished?
Well, yes, ma'am.
It's in my best interest to behave if I want to get out of here in one piece. Doesn't make it any easier to swallow what's left of my pride. Yes, ma'am. No need. You may address me as Prefectus, whether to answer or ask.
Oh, so I can ask as well.
Interesting. Yes, Prefectus. The corner of her lip lifts with a sly smirk, lighting up her eyes with a glow proper of a sated wolf. Good. Cooperate with me, and you shall be rewarded. Ooh, I love rewards. What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Amon? Can I have Envy? Maybe even Gael? Now, Amon, or even your dad, I won't mind. I won't mind at all. What? Keep them still. We will begin as soon as father returns. What? Wait, what? My brother will keep you restrained during this process. You must understand that this situation calls for every safety measure available. Please, Perfectus. We do not think that is necessary.
No.
They're harmless, Ray. You should know that better than us. Just look at them.
We do not know that. I won't make the mistake of being incautious.
I glanced at the closed gates. For an instant, I imagined myself sprinting and pushing them open, but they look insanely heavy. Even if I had the strength to run up there without slipping and falling to my death, I don't know if I'd be able to push them open. If what you said is right, and this being comes from the other side, then we don't know what they're capable of, and we should treat them as such. We do not know the effects their presence may have. The balance has never been so feeble, and now this happens.
They can barely stand. They're weak and...
This is not a game, Amon. Their intentions do not matter. They disrupt the balance merely by existing here.
We should handle the situation with as much care as possible. And that means not taking any chances.
I am inclined to agree. Whatever she said.
Oh.
I can see that, but...
They are harmless, sister. I have been alone with them, and no harm has come my way. There's no need to succumb to panic this quickly.
So I should be grateful nothing has happened to you? Father keeps me, Gael. Listen to yourself.
No.
I am merely saying, we don't have to judge them as a criminal. And all I'm advocating for is ensuring our safety. You want to play around and discover what follows, then do so, but not in my chambers, and not in my presence. I agree with the Prefectus. We have to cast our feelings aside, and likely our morals too, if we want to get to the bottom of this.
No.
I thoroughly refuse to do that.
Children.
Oh, who is this? Hey.
It smells like honey. Sweet orange blossoms in spring, carried by the tepid breeze of the sunset. A rainy day spent sitting on the porch of an old house with a trusted friend. It smells like home.
I'm afraid our guest isn't feeling too well. We should calm down and lower our voices, yes?
Hey, who is this? A golden light ushers the room's shadow away. It bathes my skin, laying down soothing kisses, and I find myself sighing at the sensation. Hello there! How are you? You must be father! Can I call you daddy? I need to calm down. A man dressed in white emerges next to Rhea, pushing her away gently with one hand. He stands in the middle of the balcony, watching on with eyes of liquid sunlight that pour right into me. His fingers draw an arc in the air that leaves behind a trail of stardust.
It is quite cold in this room. My apologies.
Apology accepted. I very much accepted.
The air around me warms up, embracing me with loving arms. The sweetness in the air expands, engulfing me, and I tilt my head back in relief. Slowly, the terrifying knot in my stomach loosens, deftly unpicked by tendrils of light.
That is better. Yes?
I nod. A tingle in my belly urges me to look away from him, to avert my eyes from the unparalleled magnificence that he is, battling the feral need to just drown in the sight of him. Then it clicks. He is the man on the hill. He is the god carved on top of those gates.
Fear not, my guest. It is an honor, as the father of this realm, to welcome you to my home. You must understand the apprehensions of my children. They mean no harm, and neither do I. A hand lifts and strokes my chin. It's warm and light, but invisible to the eye.
The touch pulls at a string I didn't know was attached to my chest, slowly untangling it. Every fear and worry dissolves in in his hand, freeing me. What a magnificent creature, don't you think, my children? No one is looking at me. No one but him.
I am the father, pride of Limbo. You may think of me as the creator of all that you see before your eyes.
Does that mean I get to smash God? Can I smash God? Is that something I can do? Can I? These are my beloved children. I ask that you be kind when thinking of them. Taking a step forward, Rhea clears her throat. The hand brushing my jaw shies away, leaving no trace behind.
Father, please excuse our behavior.
No need. Losing our manners is bound to happen in the light of such an unusual event. It speaks of your noble heart and of your honorable intentions. Once more, I am proud of you. I am sorry that I could not be with you sooner, my children. The room is enveloped in tight silence as everyone settles into their seats without uttering a word. The lump in my throat, albeit less painful a moment ago, still prevents me from doing more than swallowing. I should speak, or maybe I shouldn't. The best I can do is try to plead my case, but I have to be careful. Can I speak? The eyes bore into me. I try not to shrink under them. I look to the Prefectus for permission, but she averts her gaze. There is another authority in the room right now. A higher authority. If you could wait, my beloved guest, I would appreciate it. There are 2 of my children left for you to meet. With all due respect, Father, I would advise to proceed with the judgment without them. This is much too dangerous of a matter to involve them. Yeah, I understand your concern, but I'm afraid they are already here. Right on cue, there's a loud knocking from the other side of the gate. A breeze of laughter slips past Father's lips, and his hand sweeps through the air at the very moment the doors begin to part. A bright-haired woman cheerfully waltzes in, dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. She bounces on her toes, a young man helplessly perched on her shoulder.
Ara, put me down! My stomach's still...
You said you were too tired to walk, right?
I love them. That doesn't mean you can't...
At least walk straight!
Oh, sucks to be you. It's your fault we're late. So, deal with it.
I love them. I love them so much.
I didn't want to come in the first place. And you don't have to... Just put me down!
He brings a hand to his mouth as a very audible retch reaches my ear, urging a similar reaction from me. If he slips, both of them will fall to their inevitable deaths. I instinctively glue myself to my seat. The edges of the backrest jab my spine. My loveliest, you shouldn't run through the hallways. You might slip on the wax. It's fine. Sorry for the delay, Dad. No need, my dear. But do put poor Zal down. I don't know. I think he deserves a bit more punishment. Let's save that for tea time, For now, we should take our seats. Yep, sorry. You see, someone had to go to the bathroom and couldn't wait. Oh, I can projectile vomit all over the place if you want to. Let's also save that for later. I doubt our guest would appreciate that.
Huh?
Right, our guest. She puts the boy down with little delicacy, almost throwing him into the air. Sweet circles, is it true then?
Indeed.
Yes, my dear. Your siblings just escorted them here.
The Wanderer Worlds! I really thought you were messing with me.
She's so bubbly. It's not your damn Wanderer, Ara. Stop believing that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they are, but how many people have claimed to see the Wanderer lately, huh? And how do you explain this? This is proof it's real. Sure, proof. See, this is your fault for paying attention to those weirdos. And speaking of paying, there's no trace of the dizziness he had a second ago as he extends a greedy hand to her.
Hey, Daisy.
She falls silent for a moment. It feels like I'm looking at a statue. Huh? Oh, come on. I wouldn't have bet on it if I had known.
Oh, boo-hoo. Pay.
She growls, throwing her arms into the air before jabbing a hand into the purse around her waist. I hear the familiar clinking of coins as she slams them down onto his open palm. Hey, we said 30. I'm not paying you 30. You are paying me 30.
In fact, you said 30, plus fixing the compost machine yourself for a month, and cooking sweet leaf tarts for me the whole week.
Why would you bet so much? So! Now, don't fight. Let us sort this out together later, yeah? Fine, but you still owe me 20. They make their way to the balconies, each step louder than before, even as they drift away. I watch as they continue their casual chat, throwing glances at me all the while. When the girl notices me staring, she waves at me. I avert my eyes. I need to get out of here, now. The doors are still open, and I feel reasonably better. I know that's not me, but the hold this place or the man in gold has on me, but maybe I could take advantage of it. I can sprint to the door, get to the hallway, and if I'm lucky enough, maybe lose them through the corridors if they give chase. There's no time for second guessing. Huh? I try to hoist my body up with my hands, but I'm pushed down again at the moment my rear leaves the chair. I told you, Amon. Oh dear. I ask that you remain seated, my guest. My fingers spasm when I command them to move. Every mechanism in my body halts. A fist pulls back at the reins of my muscles, yanking me back against the stone. All the blood rushes to my head, the only thing that is still mine. It's useless. I can barely blink and breathe, and maybe I should be grateful for that. It takes me a long time to move my eyes over to meet Amon's. His left hand is facing down, pointed vaguely at me. He's the one doing this to me, isn't he? But how? How was this?
Indeed.
Splendid. We can begin.
The 6 thrones are occupied. Father stands on the balcony, hands joined before his chest. I am about to be judged. For what? I don't know.
It is known. Today, a human has crossed the border between our realm and the Firstborn. This is proof.
This isn't real. There's no way any of this is real.
Now, I will hear about the recent events from my eldest, Lord Amon.
Amon's mouth opens and his eyes make a beeline to Envy, who is staring stoically down at their hands.
Well, Dad, Vivi was the one who... Father, Lord Envy was the one who felt a pull on the border. I think it's them who should... You know your sibling cannot answer, son.
The finger still pointing at me twitch. I try to jerk my arms up, but the intangible force wrapped around me pushes back down. If he gets distracted enough, maybe I can...
Yeah. Yes, of course.
He stands. The rasp of his throat disrupts the ominous silence.
We were both in the Black Citadel when Lord Envy felt the border weaken. We saw a light in the sky after that.
We hurried to the woods, past the circles, and we found the human near the limits. A pause.
We encountered some voidbound, more than usual. They chased us beyond the limits, and far away from them at that. They got really close to the 4th bridge. That is quite concerning.
It is. The voidbound venturing off limits? That can only mean the tower is getting more powerful. We should raise the alarm in nearby towns. The tower. Hearing that word is enough to drive my heart all the way down the pit of my stomach. This may be my only chance. Excuse me, that tower you mentioned, what is it? Judging by the many reactions around me, it seems they'd forgotten I was here altogether. We do not know exactly. It is an entity that has been feeding off of Limbo's essence for eons, long before some of us were born. Its origin is unknown, as are its goals. We assume it is sentient and intelligent to a degree. Any attempts at communication have been fruitless, however. The vile thing is a threat that spits monsters into our realm. The Voidbound, which you've had the pleasure of becoming acquainted with. That should be enough to satisfy your curiosity. No, it's not. If anything, I have even more questions now, but I'm not sure how smart it is to show interest in this entity they're so afraid of. I see it in my dreams, after all. Maybe it's a bad omen, or worse, something that could get me killed if they found out.
Curiosity is a marvelous thing. Please don't hold back if you harbor any more questions.
I'm gonna ask more questions then! I can't see through that affable smile of his, but my guts churn and twist at the sight. There's something behind those words. Intent, maybe. A wish for me to keep asking.
You wish to speak, did you not? This is your chance. I now grant you permission to plead your case, if you will. Our dear Prefectus moderates this chamber, but today I will be the one to heed your words. I advise you to be wary of what you say, or what you do not.
A cold drop of sweat rolls down my temple. My mouth is so dry, I almost choke around my tongue. I don't really know what to say. I don't know who you are or where I am to begin with, but I'll tell you anything you want to know with one condition. Whispers erupt around me, some entertained, some horrified. My voice gets caught in the bottom of my throat for a moment before I can speak again. You must guarantee my safety. Promise me I won't be harmed, and I'll tell you everything I know.
I never had any intentions of hurting you, my dear guest. I assure you that you fall under my protection, and my word and my will are law.
Great! Okay!
Is that enough to ease your concerns?
I somehow managed to hold his stare. I can't for the life of me read his expression at all. Yeah, it'll have to do. If he really is as powerful as a god, he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. I have no real guarantees. This is all I have, a hopefully not empty promise.
Indeed.
Excellent. I promise your cooperation will be rewarded. We will start with the very basics. Introduce yourself to the chambers, my dear. My surprise must be showing because he tilts his head to the side, inviting me to answer. My name is Lion. I live in Feyborn, a small seaside town. I'm nobody in particular, I guess.
What about your intentions, my guest?
Intentions? Right now, survive, I guess. A splutter echoes from one side of the room. Ara slaps her hand over her mouth, but the emotion only makes her slip more evident. Rhea clears her throat. I can feel the strain in her forehead as she tries not to roll her eyes.
How did you get here?
I don't know. A seer stabbed my hand.
What? A seer?
I went with a friend of mine to get her fortune read. They offered me a reading too, and then they started saying the weirdest things. They attacked me, stabbed my hand, and the floor gave in. Then I fell, and I remember... the Void? You mean the Void that tried kissing me? The Void that tried kissing me in episode 1 of this playthrough? I rack my brain, only to find that those memories are still scattered and fragmented. Sensations remain, but I can't put them into coherent words. I remember the ocean and the stars. Someone was talking to me, and then I woke up in the forest. I don't think it's wise to tell them what the seer told me about this, somehow, about the one between, or... Wait, are you the one between? His golden eyes widen. For a moment, as brief as a blink, His calm countenance is shattered by the grip of fear.
That is quite enough.
I think I screwed up! My mouth clams shut instantly. I agree. It is bold of you to assume you could spit all this nonsense without being... I'm not lying!
Hey!
They did fall from the sky. I just said that. We saw the border being broken. And I saw the writings on the back of their hand. It is obvious a ritual has been performed. We don't have time to lose listening to this nonsense. If those damned creatures are wandering outside their prison, then we should focus on ensuring our people's safety. I'll see that every patrol stationed in every town near the fourth bridge sees their numbers doubled immediately. In the meantime, I suggest we bring the human to Redlock until we figure out what to do with them.
Huh?
Redlock? That's a bit excessive, isn't it? It's not. For all we know, they could explode any minute now. Redlock is our safest bet. Explode? We would ensure they are under constant surveillance and proceed with further deliberation after the Voidbound are driven back to their swamp. We do have yet to reach a solution, and time is scarce. Do my other children have any suggestions? Why don't we try to send them back to the firstborn? You all surely can't be fine with sending them back to Redlock of all places. I refrain myself from asking what Redlock is. I think I get the idea. It's not that simple. We have to consider the consequences of our decisions.
Harmless or not, which we don't know yet, we have to prioritize the safety of the realm. Do you all understand that?
I do, but if they shouldn't be here, then let's send them back. The safety of the realm. Am I a threat somehow? Right, Zell? He shoots up in his seat, a confused babble falling off his lips, registering the sudden attention of everyone else. He sits upright, throwing helpless glances around him.
Sorry, what?
What were you even doing? Weren't you listening? No. We're talking about someone's life here.
What do you want me to say? It's not like my opinion will change anything.
Just say something. Anything would do at this point.
He sputters and slumps, deflating onto his uncomfortable-looking seat. You aren't going to like it. Just say it! Ray is kinda right. We're in the dark about all this, and the voidies are running around out there while we argue, so... I mean, I know that, but... She looks at me, lips worried into a troubled line. I share the sentiment. Permission to intervene, Prefectus. Envy shuffles their feet, vaguely gesturing at me with one hand while avoiding my eyes. Rhea regards him. Their gazes meet for the briefest of moments. Permission granted. We are not seeing the bigger picture, I'm afraid. First, the Midnight Tower starts spitting Voidbound. Then they venture beyond the limits, and now a child of the Firstborn shatters the crystal border and crosses into Limbo? Suspiciously close to the tower, may I add. Do you think these events are related? They could be. It can't be a coincidence, at least. Not when the tower is absorbing more essence every day, and the Voidbound are becoming smart enough to bypass our defenses. Perhaps its sheer power is breaking to leak into the Firstborn, and this is a consequence of it. We know too little about the tower to discard any scenario. It's either that, or the human has been summoned here, and both options should concern us. If the tower is not responsible, it means someone has performed a ritual without precedent, and has done so with a purpose in mind. A purpose we know nothing about. Another human sent them here, you say? That's what they're saying. That, or someone has summoned them from this side, and that seer of theirs is just an unfortunate puppet.
Nonsense. The requirements for such a feat are incalculable. Unfathomable.
For us.
No. There is no way a simple human could do something like that. It's impossible.
Then the only possibility left is blaming one of our people. Those privileged enough to know about the existence of the firstborn are aware of the consequences of attempting something so egregious. Even if they somehow had the power and the knowledge to reach the other side of the crystal border, they wouldn't risk their positions, their lives, for an insanity like this. Father would know if they behave otherwise. No one could pursue something like this unnoticed and without leaving a trace. You mentioned someone stabbing your hand, did you not? Yeah. They drew something on the back of my hand and then, well, you know the rest. I looked down at my hand. The cloth Gael had tied around it is stained red. I saw it, yes. I couldn't read it due to the state of your wound, but with effort. They could have drawn it themselves. And why would they do such a thing?
That is what I've been trying to tell you since we started this, Gael. That we know nothing. Nothing at all.
As such, we cannot ignore any possibilities. Can you say with striking accuracy that they are completely innocent and oblivious? Gael looks at me. I don't know how to feel. He forced me to sit here, yet he's fighting oddly hard to ensure I'm not sent to whatever Redlock is. No, I can't. Oh no. I'm going to make a save and calmly assess the situation. I take a shallow breath. The seer wanted me here. Or perhaps not them, but someone else. Did they want me in particular though? Like it or not, they knew a lot about me. About my life. The puzzle pieces lay strewn before me. I can imagine endless possibilities of what the final picture looks like, but my mind can't fully grasp it. A lot of terrible things come to mind. Speaking out of turn might get me in trouble. These people, whoever or whatever they are not my friends. Right now, they fully have the upper hand as well. They're discussing what to do with my life after all. I have to be smart, no matter how scared I am. I swallow down the thick lump in my throat. I gather myself and raise my hand. Amon's hold allows me to. That's good. Could I... Go on. Again, I swear, I'll cooperate with you in every way I can. I have nothing to do with whatever's going on. I just want to go back to my family. I understand that, but the truth is that you may be dangerous in ways not even we can fathom. I'm not doing this for entertainment. Let me prove it then. I wasn't lying before. If me being here is such a problem, then help me leave. I get it. You are trying to protect your family. Then help me get back to mine. I'll tell you anything you want to know or help you however I can. Just give me a chance. I throw glances around the room, but I am only met with the heavy silence of their deliberation, pinched brows, pursed lips, and then an exhausted sigh. I must reiterate, confinement would be our last resort. It's not only cruel, but we are also depriving ourselves from learning from Lion. If you want to be cautious, my Prefectus, then let us personally watch over them. Hey, that's smart. Keep your enemies close and all that, huh? Of course. Who knows? Maybe they can help us solve this mystery. I doubt it. However, if the tower or someone else wants them, I agree it's best to have them in our possession and under our personal vigilance. Think about it, Ray. We know so little about the tower. If keeping the precious bunny means we can have some advantage, we should play smart. And of course you gave them one of your silly names already. And what if all of you are wrong? What if the tower has nothing to do with this? You are proving their point right! If the tower has nothing to do with this, I am not a danger! Well, I am still a danger, but not in the way you think! Then it means someone is plotting something against Limbo's integrity, and we should stop it from happening.
no matter which side of the border it belongs to. Your lion could be harboring plans of their own, fulfilling them for someone else.
Huh.
Then you'll agree it's best if we keep a close eye on them. Right. I will trust your judgment. You lot are really tiring to argue with. I withdraw my proposal. For now. Thank you, Prefectus. Truly. Unbelievable. What is with that blush? You can't tell me that you have a thing for me too, do you? Like, did you want to, keep me in, red whatever, just so that you can keep a real close look at me? Like, what's going on? Do not thank me yet. I am merely placing my trust in my siblings. You'd best not betray that trust. I won't. Father, how shall we proceed now? Father is looking down at his hands, twisting the many rings glimmering on them. It is a concerning situation. No matter the truth that lays behind it, your arguments have been nothing but impeccably solid, and I confess, I fear for us all. If our guest is the key to discerning the tower's intentions, or to uncovering a treacherous plan to hurt our people, then perhaps. He looks right into my eyes. But I will not put my family at risk. I refuse to do so. That said, another thought occurred to me. As much as our Zal doesn't wish to engage in this conversation, perhaps he can contribute to answering some questions and assist in our decision. What? I would like to know if the human poses an immediate threat to us. Perhaps you can enlighten me on that matter, son. The color drains from his face until his skin turns ashen.
I've never tried it on someone. And
He sounds so young, what the heck? I would have to touch them.
Indeed.
Our approach is greatly affected by the question of whether or not our dear lion is a threat to the delicate balance of the realm. But if you'd rather not, I understand, my son. We will find another way. It is alright to be scared. Zal wavers, head bobbing from side to side. His legs, which had been sprawled out like a cat's, are now crossed at the ankles as he stares through them with his trembling eyes.
no, I can do it. I think.
Okay. You sure? Yeah. Trying can't do any harm, I guess. Let's find out then. Father's hand reaches towards the other side of the room where Zal sits. A thin beam of light emanates from two of his outstretched fingers, marking the middle of Zal's forehead. The scent of orange tickles my nostrils once more. The light tastes sweet. Dear Prefectus, help your brother get down quickly. Immediately. She extends a hand in front of her. The railings on the right side of the room quiver, then melt down into a brownish liquid. An invisible mold hugs the cement to create a path leading to where I sit. The steps become solid in front of my very eyes. What was a piece of railing seconds ago is now a perfectly sturdy set of stairs, and Zal wastes no time climbing down them. I must warn you, my beloved guest. There is a ward embracing my son's body. Should you attempt to harm him in any way, I cannot guarantee what will happen to you. My throat squeezes down a gulp and takes of its own accord. Father smiles tenderly as he steeples his hands. There is no hesitation in him. The void in my stomach twists as I vaguely consider what would happen if he sensed any ill intentions coming from me. Zal fidgets, removing his hands from his pockets and taking a step closer to my seat. I can see my reflection in his jacket, tired eyes, and a gaping, swollen mouth. I barely recognize myself.
Hey.
He awkwardly raises a hand at me. Hey. He shuffles his feet. His eyes don't meet mine for long.
I'm, Zal.
Lion. God, this is like a fever dream. So, do you want me to explain what are you going to do to me? He bares his teeth in a grimace. His slightly rosy cheeks flower into a deep crimson.
Well, if you say it like that, it sounds like I'm gonna do something horrible.
You are about to touch me, my dude! Like, I want to know how, and like how long, and how thorough you're gonna be touching me. I need to know these details. I mean, I'm in the dark here. You could be. Yeah. This must sound weird, but I can, know about stuff when I touch it, so that's what I'm hoping I can do to you. What kind of stuff? What you're made of, chemical compositions. I can also learn how your body functions, or if you're sick. I think. You don't sound too sure. I've tried on my cat a few times, but never on, His slender fingers shyly gesture at me. And what's the worst that can happen exactly? Nothing, I think. It's not supposed to be aggressive with what I touch or anything. I guess the worst would be learning nothing. I see. Come on, bro. They won't bite. Shut up! Squaring his shoulders after shooting Amon a withering glare, he jabs his hand out right in front of me. Your hand? Holding hands, well, we haven't even had a first date yet, my dude, but then again, everyone here has, grabbed my hand at some point, so, why not? Here's my hand. I arch an eyebrow. Please? That's better. He's so cute! I place my non-stabbed hand on top of his. His skin is soft, and his fingers curl around mine quite nervously. Good to know I'm not the only one scared, I guess. His fingertips find the back of my hand, hesitant, trembling. I close my eyes, readying myself for any kind of pain as he squeezes my palm. I can feel my pulse battling his own. The point where our hands meet tickles, and slowly, the feeling turns sharp, like a pinch traveling all the way up to my shoulder. It doesn't hurt. My skin is caressed by a faint wave of dew that sets the hairs along my arms pinned straight like a field of needles. There's a low thrum in my ears and a tingling nudge behind my eyes. Then comes a flash of light, a spark the color of the morning sky. A bluish glow takes over my arm, lighting it up from the inside. Every vein turns into a glinting, sinuous line brimming with life. The orange and red hues of my backlit flesh bleed into blue. I can see all that lies underneath my skin, emanating a soft glimmer. His formerly gentle grip turns firm, when my first reaction is to back away. His eyes are two beaming rays of cerulean light, lost in a vague point between my collarbones. Everything floats around us, and stills. I can no longer tell his pulse from my own. We merge completely in an unknown sea, but I feel no fear. I drift away, letting the waves carry me, letting his eyes be my anchor. I'm submerged in frigid water, and the ice bites my skin. A voice tries to reach me. Fingers dance across the strings of an old and beloved instrument. Praise is given with the gentleness of a loved one. Then it arrives. Whoa! Grotesque, all-consuming, starved for millennia. It roars, staining against its shackles, tearing apart the very filaments of life. It lays in wait. It has been waiting for too long. Don't you think? The light within my arm dies in a single instant. The pebbles floating around us fall back to their natural place, and the energy setting every nerve in my body on edge ebbs away. The last thing to fade is the shine of Zell's eyes. His pupils contract, and his shoulders slump as his consciousness seems to slip back to reality. He scrunches his nose in discomfort and releases me slowly, letting his arm fall limply to his side. What is it, son? He squeezes his eyes shut a few times, clearing away the haze clinging to his expression. He doubles over, right before me, my hand shooting up to grip his head. I reach out when he keels over, catching him before he can hit the floor. Zell! His dead weight pushes me back into the chair as he stumbles on top of me. The back of my head and the side of Zell's hits the stone amidst a chorus of horrified gasps. His eyes snap open. We're so close. I can see every twitch and flicker of his pupils as he gazes deep into something inside me. My chest stills. His eyes sink into my own, digging into the furthest reaches of my brain. I hear a soft whispering as his pupils turn white. Every other sound is drowned out by the thrum of his body, like a bolt of lightning caught within his ribcage. Huh? Zell, are you? His arm snaps up to stop her from coming any closer, but his eyes are fixed on me, darting between images I can't see. I don't know how long he stays there, curled over me, hovering mere inches away from my face. He's not breathing. The glow disappears from his eyes once more. Air re-enters both our bodies at the same time, and only then do I realize that I've been holding my breath, just like him. Slowly, the heaving of our chest subdues, in sync once more. He looks at me, conscious, serene. His bangs caress his forehead, but my body doesn't register the tickle they leave behind. You. His expression doesn't change, set in absolute neutrality. There's a glint of something behind those impassive eyes, a glint that sends a chill through my very soul. He knows. Zal? They're harmless. Lethargically, he straightens up, with a steadying hand on the backrest of my seat. He blinks hard several times once more.
Are you certain, son?
He puts some distance between us and reaches up to touch the spot where he hit his head. The glance he throws my way vanishes any doubt I had. He knows about me. And the tower. Yeah. Zell looks away from me, stuffing his hands into his pockets. They're not gonna explode or anything. The worst that can happen is that they, die. Like, suddenly? Like dropping dead, I mean.
Wow. Way to put it, champ.
Damn. What do you want me to say? The balance is trying to, balance stuff.
Ugh.
Just don't say anything about death. Fine. They're like a non-wielder. Can't wield, can't see. Pretty much harmless.
As I suspected.
Father closes his eyes. It's a moment of intimate thought. One everyone present respects.
We will take a recess now. I need some time to deliberate.
Prefectus, you may send a word to the cities closest to the fourth bridge. Yes, Father. She swiftly rises from a chair and disappears. With her, she takes the tension that was tightly threaded across the room.
Sons, Lord Envy, a word.
The three of them abandon their positions without hesitation, and a few eyes land on me as they do. Dad, can I bring Lion some water? His steps visibly falter at the question, but only for the briefest fraction of a second before he recovers his composure.
Of course, my dear. Such a thoughtful soul you are.
Yeah. The breezy sound of bare footsteps takes over the lower floor. I watch, still in a strangely comfortable haze, as her mass of pink hair trots away and charges through the gates.
Keep our guests company, Zell. We will return soon.
What? Wait! What am I supposed to do?
The door closes somewhere behind the balcony. The sound echoes louder than it should. We are alone. There's no one here but me, him, and the droning eye hovering above my head. He drawls out a groan, pulling his jacket up over his shoulders. The fabric slides back down uncooperatively. I've been in plenty of uncomfortable situations in my life. This somehow isn't as bad as some of them. So, are you alright? I'm in one piece. I think that's as close as I'll get to alright. I guess I have to thank you for that. I was just doing what they asked me to. But you were kind to me. I wasn't. Fine, I won't argue. Are you okay, though? You almost fainted. His eyes finally gather the courage to land on me, and they do so suspiciously. My attempt at gathering a bit of information has failed, apparently.
You don't have to be nice or anything. Like I doubt you care.
Bold claim, my dude. That's a bit edgy, don't you think? I can't help but chuckle. At least I try to. No, it's not. Just a bit. Stop laughing. Aren't you in pain or scared or something? I'm surprisingly lucid, if you ask me. Don't know how long it will last, though. I could still do something bad to you, you know. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the most comical threat I've ever heard, but I keep my opinions to myself. He looks like he would flee immediately if he hadn't been tasked to keep an eye on me. One glass of water coming through. Bursting through the gates with a glass in her hands, she saunters over to us. Relief watches over my temporary guardian. With such strength, I'm afraid he'll keel over again. Very nice of you to leave me here. Please, don't tell me you're scared of Lion. He doesn't reply. He shoots me a cautious glance, and I instantly know what he's thinking about. Did he see the same thing I did then? Or am I just imagining things? What's with the faces? What were you two talking about? Nothing. Nothing, huh? Keeping secrets from Sister Ara, huh? Ara! Fine. Here, Lion. Drink some. Several droplets vault off the overflowing glass as she jabs it in my direction, splashing onto my lap. The dazzling smile she's wearing could light up an entire city. Thanks. I hesitantly accept the offer. The glass feels absurdly light in my grasp. I gulp the water down so fast I can't even taste it. My breath cuts short and my stomach twitches painfully at the sudden influx. God, that felt good. Huh? Circles. Do you want some more? Nah, that's okay. We don't charge for it. You just have to ask. Her outstanding kindness is as welcome as it is concerning. I already let my guard down with Master Gael, and that didn't turn out too well. I rest the empty glass on my lap. Ara's smile broadens until her eyes are hardly more than a straight row of long lashes.
You don't look too different from us.
Well, aside from the ears. What did you expect?
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you hear Wanderer of Worlds and imagine someone completely normal.
You read too much. There's no wanderer of anything. Wait, that thing. It's a wanderer. What's that? Is that a Genshin thing? The pair of peachy eyes in front of me suddenly draws close. In a heartbeat, Ara's nose is almost touching mine, and I swallow a squawk out of pure courtesy. The Wanderer of Worlds! It's an old legend of... It's just a stupid fairy tale. That's what someone boring like you would say. Yeah, that's what someone who's not delusional would say. Prick. Ugly. Idiot. Their shared focus remains on one another, and their bickering. There's a few hands thrown in the air, merged with some slaps, and soon a round of laughter wrapping it all together. Anyway. Could I have some more water? Like a light switch, Ara's face is taken over by another huge smile that utterly erases the impish expression she had a second ago. Sure. Wait. Ara picks up the empty glass and shoves it right into Zal's chest. You heard the liege. What? Come on. I am not your butler. Bring it yourself. After the traumatic experience you made them go through, it's the least you can do. What? As if it was my fault. I didn't want to do it in the first place. And traumatic? Give me a break. I'm the one who almost broke my head in two. Come on, please. Zal looks back and forth between us, flabbergasted. Notably, his eyes linger on mine longer than they do on his sister's. Don't look at the prisoner. Guess!
No, please. Do it for your super cute and kind sister.
Is that sister in the room with us now? Ara clasps her hands together. Her pleading eyes are so big that they look ready to pop out of their sockets. Fine. but I'm adding 10 more to your debt.
Mhm.
Oh, my boobaloo. Thanks. He storms off, empty glass in hand. Her expression twists mischievously as she watches her brother march away, her little hands rubbing together like the most villainous of villains would do. Well, at least someone is having fun with this. So, how are you holding up, Lion? I'm sure you've been asked that a bunch of times, but I can't resist myself. Well, I'm afraid I'll have to give you the same answer, so I'm alive, I guess. Unless you all have different plans. Because you don't, right? Plan to, off me?
Huh?
No!
I know everyone got a bit nervous back there, but I swear, we're not monsters or anything. See, things are not exactly perfect around here. But now that you're here, they might just be soon.
That's, surprisingly optimistic of you. What am I supposed to do exactly? Because of the wonder of whatever? What am I supposed to do exactly? I think I understand that you're dealing with some problems, but I don't know how much I can be of use. I mean, your brother did say I might die any minute. Which is awfully comforting and not terrifying at all, thank you very much.
Ugh.
Don't listen to him. But it's true, right? Well, let's not think about that right now, alright? What's important is that we all agreed on helping you out, because that will help us out too. Most likely you will have to not get into trouble and lend a hand when asked. Chances are, this is just a weird misunderstanding and we'll find a way to send you back home in no time.
Mhm.
And I'll be there for you along the way. Helping people is what I do best, after all. Your enthusiasm is, appreciated. Aw, aren't you sweet? First, I guess Gael will examine you properly after we find a way to, interact with you without causing a reaction that kills them. Zal emerges from behind his sister, nudging her arm with the now refilled glass of water. Shut up! She yanks the glass off of him and hands it to me. I'm just saying.
Ugh.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Just stop talking altogether. Don't wanna. Make me. I prefer Zal over Envy. I mean, sure, I love myself a good tsundere any day, but between Envy and Zal, I think I would have so much more fun, like, teasing the hell out of Zal, because, like, his expressions are just so fun. God. Alright. And so it begins. Once again, I become a spectator of their banter, of their duet of jabs and puns, as if this were like any other day in their completely normal lives. It doesn't last long, for better or worse. A scraping noise from above makes them shut their mouths, and the three of us turn to its source. Tilting my head, I watch as the other 5 sovereigns flow inside the room, quietly chatting amongst themselves. There's a relaxed air about them. Even the stiffness around the Prefectus's shoulders have subsided.
Huh.
Hey, look who's having fun over there. Jealous much? You bet. Oh God, I love him! One more boring speech from the Prefectus and I'll die on the spot. There's nothing boring about my speeches. They're just too intelligent for your taste.
Mhm.
Next time, try using some pictures and puppets, Ray. No kidding. I love that. Idiots. My children, back to your seats. This won't take much longer. Everyone takes their seats as requested. Zal has scurried away at some point, and Ara's the one who lingers on the platform. That's been my prison for a while now. You can keep the glass if you want, just in case you get thirsty again.
Hang in there. Just for a little longer. Alright?
Maybe it's a bright smile or the familiarity in her gestures, in her movements. Whatever it is, I find myself nodding before I can think about it. Will do. She seems satisfied with that. With a final bob of her head, she turns to the stairway. Ara?
Huh?
Yeah? Thanks. She tucks a few strands of hair behind the shell of her ears, but they promptly return to their place around her heart-shaped face. Don't mention it. Her lips quiver as she contemplates whether to say something else or not. With one last beam for me, she settles on the latter, skipping all the way back to the upper floor. Wonderful. As Father reassumes his position at the railing, the dust floating around the room freezes in place. The timid rays of moonlight, peeking through the windows, halt their dance. Not a sound or a word is heard. After careful deliberation, I've made a decision. It is true that the human summoning is wholly inexplicable, as are their true intentions, or if they have taken part in this unprecedented event. With that considered, I will have the 7 sovereigns guard this one's life until a solution is found, and the culprit of this transgression is brought to this sacred chamber. As Limbo's father and protector, I know in my heart this is the right thing to do. As father, however, I would not demand this of you, my children. If the worst scenario comes to fruition, many lives would be at risk, including your own. You don't have to ask, Father. The safety of this realm is the safety of this family. Your burden is our burden.
Yeah.
We wouldn't dip on you like that. This'll be easy, you'll see.
Zal? Ara? We're in, of course. Don't you dare count us out. Right, Zal? A dragged-out hum is his only answer. He searches for something he can use to help his case, and by chance his gaze falls on me. His expression tightens. We draw a labored breath in unison. Yeah, about that. Sure, I guess. He looks away, crossing his arms before his chest in visible discomfort. The tension that should wash out of me solidifies, worming its way to my belly. Why is he not saying anything? How will we settle this, Father? Will they stay in the spire? Will we take turns watching over them?
Knowing how fickle their life is, I'm afraid the spire's volatile nature would not be ideal. My position does not allow me to dedicate as much time and effort to this matter as it needs. Therefore, I will ask of you to shelter Lion within your circles. They must be under strict vigilance, but also cannot raise suspicions. This matter will remain as secret as possible. Teach them our customs. If they are truly foreign to them, let us embrace them, and let them embrace our home. Sooner or later, the answers will be given to us, one way or another. Stand and cast your vote, if you will, my sovereign. The room fills with the sound of shuffling of clothes and shoes. 6 hands rest atop of the railings, and a quiet hum erupts from the earth, crawling up through the pillars, holding this place together. However, there's one among them who doesn't move. Envy remains still, a distant look in his downcast eyes. Father? A suggestion, if you allow it.
Indeed.
Yes, Lord Amon.
Even from where I sit, I can see Amon's Adam's apple plummet under the weight of Father's candid stare.
I'd like to suggest we include Lord Envy in this.
Amon.
I know the law. But they know more about the firstborn than any of us. It's only fair that he has a chance to help. And it will be good for them to have a say in this. Maybe then we can...
Amon! His eyes meet Envy's, and the unspoken words between them are too intimate for me to watch for too long. What is going on here?
We will speak about that when the time comes. For now, yes, I understand. Do you find yourself ready for this task, Lord Envy?
As they glance at their father, I realize there had been a faint softness in their eyes while they look at Amon. Now, however, there's something else that words can't quite describe. Yes, I do.
Then it's decided.
Envy stands up and joins the rest, his pale hand clasping the cold stone of the ledge.
By unanimous agreement, the 7 sovereigns will take Liege Lion under their sacred protection. We will, however, grant our guest a chance of making a crucial decision. Father offers me a fond smile as his attention zeroes in on me. He brings his hands together, squeezing his palms until a flicker of light seeps through his fingers. When his hands part, a deck of cards swirls in rapid circles between them. Its pace soon slows to a halt, bobbing up and down amidst a golden glimmer. The balcony in front of Father parts before him, shying away from his presence. He steps into the void, and the air itself holds him aloft, coiling around his ankles with care, delicately fanning his clothes. My heart trembles at the sight, before being soothed into a calm rhythm. A golden hand slips between my ribs and lovingly pats away the ache held there. It steals my breath. It relieves me of the never-ending pain of being conscious, of being present. I will be taken care of. Every thought is erased with a snap. I'm besotted by the glorious face approaching me, by the scent of morning dew cradling my senses. The world carries Father to me, stopping him at a distance that would be dwindled into nothing by a mere stretch of my arm. His power is unimaginable. I can taste it on my tongue, feel it in my veins, hear it echoing inside my head. Yet, I fight it. No, someone else inside me fights him, fights the hold his godly presence has on me. What are you doing to me?
I apologize. It is my very existence that troubles your soul, perhaps with greater strength than usual, as you are now child of mine. Gather your thoughts. My influence will pass.
Okay, I close my eyes, denying myself the pleasure of seeing him. Knowing that he's not actively trying to charm me is all the more unsettling. A dangerous thought crosses my emptied mind. What if I gave in to him, to this influence? In my hands, I hold 6 cards. Each card represents one of my beloved children, our trustworthy sovereigns. Let instinct guide you, as each card is infused with tremendous power. They hold the very essence of my children themselves. Or if you will, have your choice be based on cunning and strategy. Act as you please. Know that each one of them offers you protection, understanding, and knowledge. Seize this opportunity as one in a million lifetimes, my dear guest. I face his delightfully overwhelming presence. I can't hold his stare too long. It causes flames to lick at my stomach in a blur of pain and pleasure. Is there anything you would like to add, Liege Lion Winchester? Wait. I never mentioned my name. Never mentioned that my name was Winchester to anyone throughout this whole visual novel. I will do my best to be of use. Thank you for not killing me. I will do my best to be of use. I will do my best to be of use. I'll show you that I have nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, my dear. I know you will.
One of his hands reaches for me, with languor and feather-light delicacy in equal measure, and my body fervently anticipates his touch. His naked fingers graze my cheek, and it feels as if the sun was kissing my skin, a warm, light touch that soon turns into a searing caress.
I know you will.
That sounds ominously devious. A shiver runs through me, setting my insides on fire in a mind-numbing mixture of pleasure and unease. It is settled then. Today, you will take destiny into your own 2 hands, for as long as you remain among us. The cards flutter and twirl before they fly away from the cocoon of his hands. They stop right in front of me, 6 perfect pieces of wafer-thin stone and glass, one for each one of them, just like he said. A myriad of colors and shapes form carefully crafted stained glass images. Etched onto the bottom of each card is a title, each more ominous than the last. I just have to pick up one and then that's it. It's decided. Somehow part of me still hopes that the moment I choose a card, I'll wake up in my bed, that all of this will be nothing but a bad dream. But that's not going to happen. I will fight my way through whatever comes next, no matter what it is. That's my only resolution.
my only comfort. I will make them wish they'd sent me home as soon as they saw me. I reach forward, my fingertips hovering over the edges of the cards. The air around them is charged, buzzing with energy. It laps at my skin, beckoning me to choose. And so, I make a decision, perhaps my final one. And that decision is... that apparently the demo is over. Okay. Anyway, that was Lost in Limbo. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this game for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. And yeah, there's a couple more days left before the end of their Kickstarter campaign, and I do hope this game gets fully funded. I feel like there's a lot of mystery in this visual novel. I really want to know how in the world they know who I am and why we're here, and whether, like, I should even trust these people in the first place, because I have a feeling I'm not supposed to trust them. I just have an inkling of a feeling, but that's just my theory. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.